Happy Chocolate Soufflé Day. That's right. February 28th is National Chocolate Soufflé Day. I know when I say that, everybody panicked. Oh my God, we have to make a soufflé. Yep, we're going to attempt to make a soufflé. Now, I have seen several professional chefs do it, and they are always terrified. And I always like to cook with confidence. So I may be terrified to do this a little bit because soufflés are very precarious. They can fall at any time. They don't care. Soufflés are very rogue. But today on Good Time Gal, my blog, as well as my YouTube channel, I wanted to share with you an easy, equitable, and delicious chocolate soufflé recipe that I have on my blog. It is great for first-time bakers, and it's actually great for any baker at any level. And it's also gonna have simple ingredients, but it's gonna deliver that restaurant quality result that we want, okay? So this is going to be one of those really wild videos where I probably won't do a lot of talking. We're just gonna do some cooking, okay? But before we start, as always, I like to list off the ingredients, okay? So you're gonna need a half a cup of whole milk or oat milk, almond milk, or dairy-free milk. That's your choice. You're gonna need half a cup or 85 grams of dark chocolate, 70% cocoa chocolate or higher, chopped. You're gonna want 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter or coconut oil if you wanna do dairy-free, 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder, 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour or almond flour if you want to go gluten-free, 2 large egg yolks, 3 large egg whites, 1/4 cup of sugar, half a teaspoon of vanilla, a pinch of salt, and powdered sugar for dusting. So those are our ingredients. It's quite a lot of ingredients, but if you notice, we're only using a pinch here, a pinch there, because that's the beauty of the chocolate soufflé. All right, so let's get started. Part 1 of this bake is gonna be just us prepping our ramekins. So we've already preheated our oven to 375. So now we're going to grease our ramekins. For those of us who don't know what a ramekin is a dish, a ceramic thick dish that we use for our soufflé. Now, if you don't have a ramekin, you can use a small oven safe bowl. You can use a muffin cup. You can use a custard cup. You can use a small ceramic or glass dish, but make sure that it's oven safe. These are my ramekins. And I'm just cleaning them out because I washed them, so I want to make sure that they are dry on the inside so that they don't compromise the soufflé, because again, this is a very delicate dish. And remember, we talked about cooking with love. So this one, you just want to make sure that you're very precise with everything that you do. But these are my ramekins. And if you look on the bottom, it tells you it's food proof, oven safe. That's what you want to see on the bottom. You want to see that it's oven proof, it's food proof, because if you just decide, oh, I'm going to use some of these and it doesn't have that, the ceramic ink could bleed through into the food and you could actually end up poisoning someone. I know. So that's why it's super important that we always make sure that our dishes are safe. So these are my ramekins. I've already prepped. So now the next step for me, for my ramekins, is I'm going to use a stick of butter. I'm gonna grease these, and the recipe calls for 4, so there should be 2 more, but I'm only gonna do 2. Because I only have 2 ramekins, so always work with what you have. And if you want to save the soufflé batter for another time, you can. So I'm going to just grease very well. I think you guys were worried. You were like, all these little easy holidays she's doing. Well, some of the holidays are. They're just for everybody, right? So they're easy, but then some of them are just to show off. So this is one of those. So what I'm doing is I'm making sure that all my butter is hitting all the right spots. I don't want any creases. So I'm just making sure that wherever I see a place that doesn't have butter, that I'm applying that butter. So my ramekin is not gonna be compromised once we get the dough. See that? Yep. And then you can see it as well. See the little white spots? So that's what I'm doing. I'm making sure that my butter is evenly distributed. That's what I want. I want an even distribution. So there we go. So now the next step is our cocoa powder. So now I am going to be dusting. When they say dust, they just mean a little bit. So I'm gonna just use a little bit, about 1/4 of a tablespoon on each one. 1/4 of a tablespoon. And I want to avoid getting it on my countertop, but I'm just gonna do this where I shake it. And look, it's already getting stuck. So you gotta work. Gotta work a little fast. These are heavy dishes, but you don't want to get too crazy with the banging. You just want to make sure you're lightly banging it enough to get all right. So this is how it should look. I'm gonna try this again. So now I'm a little worried about this one. See how that didn't, so now I'm gonna just add a little more chocolate. The reason you're doing this is so this is gonna help the souffle rise evenly, okay? And that's what I want. I want the souffle there. So there we go. So both of my souffles are nice. They're nicely dusted. So I'm gonna set these aside. And now we're gonna move on to step 2. All right, so before we do step 2, I've got to chop the chocolate. The chocolate that I got is Dove, and I got 3 packets, and they tell you on the bottom that the net weight is 64.1 grams, and we need 84 grams. So I know that's about a pack and a half, but I also have my measuring cup, so I just want it to be half a cup of this. So I'm just quickly unwrapping. And the reason they want you to chop the chocolate is it melts a lot better, okay? So that's why we're chopping the chocolate. And these are already nice pieces, but I'm gonna chop them even further down. I'm gonna break them down even more so that they melt a little richer when we put it with the milk. I also want to point out, what does that say? Manifest it and you'll make it happen. Oh, that's what we're doing. We're manifesting and we're making it happen. I love these little dove sayings. The next one, find what makes you smile. If you don't start today, you'll regret it tomorrow. They never lied, did they? They never lied. Look at Dove being an inspirational speaker for us all. So we need a half a cup. I think we've got that. I think we probably have a little more than half a cup. Yes, we do. So now I'm going to do that. So it's exactly half of a cup. So I want to turn my gas stove on low heat. So about there. And I'm going to warm my milk. And if you see the little steam, that means that it's warm. So now I'm gonna add 2 tablespoons of my butter. And then I'm gonna add the chopped chocolate. And now our job is to keep this on low heat, but it is to go ahead and stir it until all of these items are mixed together. And if you see it, it's melting very fast. This does not take long, but remember, we want to make sure we have a delicate hand. So we just keep going. We'll get in there. If you see the butter, it's still there, so we're just waiting for the butter to melt, but we're making a wonderful headway. All right, it is melted. It is completely melted. So we're taking it off the heat. We're turning the heat. This is our part when we go ahead. So I'm gonna put in, there's my 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder. Two tablespoons of butter. I'm sorry, 2 tablespoons of flour. A half a teaspoon of vanilla. That's all my vanilla. And now 2 large egg yolks. There's one yolk. There's two. And now I whisk. And whisk fast. I'm also going to put my pinch of salt. All right, I'm liking it. I'm not seeing any kind of grainy. We're going to set that aside. All right, now we have come to an integral part of making our souffle, which is our 3 egg whites. So we've put 3 egg whites inside, and now we're going to beat them until we can get a soft peak. And as those soft peaks form, we're going to gradually start adding the sugar. This is how we get the souffle. It's a careful dance now. Getting that mixture together, that was also a careful dance, but the eggs, the souffle, this is the part that gives you that lovely, rich flavor that we want. This to say, get ready. It takes a minute, but it's gonna be worth it. And that's the whole point of this. It may take us a minute, but it will be worth it. But it's still very easy. Sometimes souffles can be a little harder than this. The hardest part is waiting for it, because you have to be very quiet because they can fall, right? You don't want them to fall. Okay. Okay, meringue. So this is where we're going with the meringue. And I want to kind of whip it again just a little more. But it's already glossy. So see how it's foaming? Maybe another minute. Yes, so we're doing it. We got the meringue to meringue-a-tang. Ooh, that. All right, I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all were not supposed to hear me singing, but oh my God. We are doing it. So now this is the delicate part. It's very delicate, très delicate. I'm going to, for this part, I will speak in my French accent. No. So what that means is we're going to be taking this nice meringue that we just made, and it's good meringue. We did good for my first time making it in a while. So I like to pretend I'm cutting it into 3 parts, and there you go. And it said fold it in, so I'm folding it in. This is how we fold. See how I'm just turning it? And then I'm gonna do that again. Because how gently you fold it in the chocolate is what's gonna get the souffle to rise and to be beautiful. So you see I'm still folding gently, gently, gently. Now I'm going to put it in my ramekins. All right, we have 15 minutes set on the timer. The souffle is in the oven. I will see you in 15 minutes. They're ready. It's time to take it out. They came out perfect. There is only one step left. We have to sprinkle them with powdered sugar. We did it. Well, that is all the time we have. You guys, this has been so much fun. You guys helped me build my confidence even more. We made our first chocolate souffle together. Yes, so you see how easy it is? So I want you to go out there and make your own souffle. For this recipe, please go to my blog, goodtimegal.blog or goodtimegal.com. And remember, the time is spelled like the ingredient. If you have enjoyed it, please feel free to go to Amazon.com or even on my TikTok and purchase my Good Time Gal cookbook. It is a cookbook for all occasions. Thank you so much for subscribing, liking, and sharing my videos, and happy cooking, everybody.